Hey guys, I'm Eddie, and this particular video is going to be solely on the display on the Tesla Model S. This video is going to be very technical. I'm just going to push all the buttons. It's not going to be thoroughly entertaining, but some people do want to see what all the functions are in this car, and so that's what I'm going to show you. Alright, just to give you an idea of how my demonstration is going to be, things that I'm going to do include push all these buttons and show you what they all do. And then I'm going to take it to the top and push all those buttons and show you what they do. First button I'm going to push here is the controls button. On the controls button, you have a little X over here, just like your Windows and Mac iOS, whatever you use. Usually you close things with an X, and check this out how fast it responds. Boop, off. Goes back to controls, turn it on. Really fast. Everybody else should take, and when I say everybody else, every other car manufacturer should take note and make quality like this, make this fast. Up here you could either choose the controls, which I'm going to go through, or go through the settings, which are these settings listed here, and we'll go through all of these. Okay, starting off with control, we'll start off with suspension, and it allows you to adjust the ride height. Oh, I just pushed a button. You could actually feel the car elevate. This is actually pretty cool because I'm actually feeling this. So let me see if you can relatively see it when I put low. Check that out. That was quick. Anyway, so that was fun for me. I don't know if it was fun for you. It also has a feature for automatic lowering, which you could adjust the speed to which it automatically lowers. So I'll just leave it at where it was. You can select here driving, and it has different steering modes. I had it to sport mode, which is the most firm particular steering mode, but you could obviously choose comfort or standard. This creep mode is kind of funny. Usually in manual cars, when you have it for example in first gear and you start letting off the clutch, it'll creep. This car, you could have it behave like a regular car, in where you could actually engage that creep or just leave it off. And when you leave it off, you have to keep your, when you leave it on, you have to keep your foot on the brake. If you leave it off, once you stop, you stop. The regenerative braking is something that a lot of people have taken issue with in this car, and what I mean by that is when you leave your foot off of the accelerator, the car is automatically going to brake, and when that does so, it actually brakes it kind of hard. It brakes it so hard that when you look over here, you could actually see the little lights turn on as if the car was braking. So the first time I drove the car, I wasn't too fond of it. But now that I've had more experience with the car, I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit, because honestly you don't have to replace your brakes as often, but this isn't my car. Range mode, what does range mode mean? So select the little eye there, and check that out. Well, you can read, I don't need to read it to you. That's what range mode means. So doors and locks, you could basically open things up, lock, unlock. You could adjust your lights, whether you want the headlights to be automatic or want to be off, parking lights, etc. That's all done here under the driving button. Trips tells you a little bit about your trip A, trip B, reset, things that you would expect in your normal automobile. Display, auto brightness, and then your power management, energy saving. And my camera is starting to overheat because it's a piece of shit. When people ask me if I would recommend this camera, I would first ask, what's going to be the reason you're buying this camera? If it's to shoot video, I would say no, don't buy this camera. This is subpar. I don't know if the Sony Alpha 6500 is the same, but this just isn't cutting it for me. I can't make a video without it dying on me. Now let's select the e-brake and power off button. So pushing there talks about the parking brake, so your foot must be on the brake pedal, which I just did. Now I'm going to press that button and puts the parking brake on. I'm sure there's got to be an easier way to do that, but anyway, talks about vehicle power, and these particular menus you already recognize. And this is basically the controls for suspension, driving, trips, displays, and e-brake and power off. Now let's go over and click on settings. And when you have settings, we'll go to apps first. Talks about maps and navigation. So once you select maps, for example, you have your trip planner, traffic-based routing, to reroute if it saves a certain amount of time, commute advice, avoid ferries, avoid tolls, and show estimated round trip energy. Now going back to apps, calendar, and basically you can show your calendar upon entry, driver profiles. So there are a couple drivers here. I'm not one of these drivers, and I guess you could create your stuff. So let's see what Kyle has it. Link to key fob 1. Okay, cool. Units and format, distance in miles or kilometers per hour, how you want your time format to be, your temperature, your energy and charging. Do you want it to be through distance or through energy? So that's the explanation for units and format. Moving a vehicle, it gives you a couple options with regards to what you want to do to the mirrors, what you want to do to the lights, doors and locks, what the unlock mode is, how you want it to walk away door lock. I want that, yeah. Unlock on park, child protection, how you want the handles done, and passive entry, safety and security, park assist chimes. That should be interesting. We'll select no. Security alarm on or off, privacy, your displays, like I said, auto brightness, home link. This was what I was looking for. That is not what my house looks like. That's pretty cool though. But the keyboard down here popped up. Driver assistance, and this is where it comes out with the auto steer stuff, with the autopilot stuff, excuse me, auto steer on and off, lane change, summon, which I'm not going to mess with, lane departure warning on, speed limit warning. Let's just turn this off. Yep. And then collision avoidance assist, and then service, shows you about the wipers, the wheels, and the tire pressure monitoring. Towing mode, which the car has to be in park, and press the brake pedal. Oh, check that out. I just pressed the brake pedal and I activated that. And then the software. And then down here you also have the manual. Moving along down here, you have your seat heaters, 3, 2, 1. This particular model doesn't have the coolers. If you want to adjust your AC temperature, you could actually go up and sync the temperature, or unsync it. Sync the temperature. Defrost for the front, the back. Climate control, you can turn it on and off just that easily. You can select the custom button here, where you could basically have your auto AC on or off, what you want the actual AC to do, and then it has a little nuclear button over here where you want the air to blow and how fast you want it to do it. Or you can just put it in auto. Let's put it down so you can actually hear me. And those buttons, it works the same way over here, where it has a temperature for the passenger, the seat adjustments for the passenger, and to turn the volume up or down. And I'm putting that back down so I don't get hit with any copyright issues. Sound good? Alright, that's the bottom tab. Hopefully that wasn't too painful. Moving along the top, you have your music. And it only took up half the screen, but in order for it to take up the whole screen, there's a little thing right here that you push down, and you have your whole screen about streaming radio. Over here you have your radio, streaming. You can get things off your phone, but my phone's not connected. I don't know what TuneIn is, but I guess it's something that has this. So this is TuneIn. Alright, so that's basically the radio. You could also adjust your audio settings, and what I did was that I pushed, sorry, let me just close this out. I pushed this button up here, and then the audio settings came in. I push that again. And these are basically the buttons you can find over here. Let me see what this does. Oh, that's for the actual FM radio you could adjust. And I'm sure that one day they'll put this in the Tesla Model 3, because I've been reading that it doesn't have this function just yet for FM radio. Shouldn't be too hard if my phone could do it. So let's go over here to Maps, and we'll hit the navigate button. And I'm actually going to take you, GoPro, because you're not going to go out on me, because the camera just went out on me. Alright, so moving on to the actual screen itself. You could put in different places where you've gone. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go to Atlanta, Georgia, as I just selected. And it does this cool thing where it finds superchargers for the trip. And this is currently hooked onto the Wi-Fi, or excuse me, or the LTE, or the internet that's provided by Tesla. And so it tells me that there's a supercharger in Tifton, Georgia, and then I could get to Atlanta. So when I get to Tifton, I'm gonna have 12% battery, and when I get to Atlanta, I'm gonna have 14%. And so it's gonna be 2 stops, and the total trip is gonna take 6 hours and 13 minutes. That's a long trip. But anyway, that's pretty cool that it at least gives you that option where you can see that. So ways that you could actually visualize this map. You go ahead and have these 3 buttons right there. You can select it, and then you can see the map in that format. Where Atlanta has a lot of traffic, I'm not surprised. Or you could actually get it like a satellite view. Then you see how it kind of predicts what the traffic's going to be like. You could actually remove that by pushing this button right here. And then I guess this little button down here shows you where all the superchargers are. So that's kind of how the navigation works here. So let's go move over to the calendar part right there, and let's blow this up. And the way that I blew it up was by pushing that button right there. But I don't have a calendar hooked on right now, so pushing the next button, which is about consumption. Let me just make this full screen. I guess it can't go full screen because this one doesn't have the little button right there. Consumption, basically 5 mile, 15 mile, 30 mile, what my average range is, and what my instant range is. Coming back over here, we have the internets, which I'm going to go ahead and push this button and make it bigger. Pulling up something from CNN, so chances are it's going to be some bad news. It's bad news everywhere, but nevertheless, let's go here to actual CNN, and it's not open. Okay, so let's go to something positive. SesameStreet.com, ESPN.com, and then hit enter. And then boom, I'm on ESPN.com. Hey, speaking about Atlanta, check that out. Matt Ryan's there. So you're able to see that. Next button up here is the camera button, and I can, as I mentioned before, see the back of my house. Can't actually make that bigger. Let me see what this button does. Oh, it actually flips them around. Look at that, learning something new every day. Go ahead and push that back up. And then the last button up here is for the screen, which I don't have a phone that's connected. And you could also swap these out. You could probably swap a bunch of stuff out, I just don't know about it yet. So yeah, that's basically the display on this car. Pretty cool. I like it. I hope you enjoyed the presentation of this display. It's nothing out of the ordinary of a video, but I hope I was able to demonstrate exactly what the capacity of it is and answered all your questions with regards to what this display could actually do. I love this display. It's so much better than anything else I've ever driven before, and I try to get behind the wheel of every car I possibly could. It makes me very disappointed that my Corvette was as expensive as it was and the display is so subpar. Ultimately, I could live every day with this display. The things about these types of displays that people get a little bit queasy about include not having any knobs, but I think Tesla does a great job of including knobs, or at least something that's tactical to actually bring the volume up and down, and to change the radio stations. The buttons are here, so they don't eliminate buttons altogether. You still have some on the steering wheel, and you don't have to be reaching over here too much. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it, comment, subscribe. If you want to give me a thumbs down, please don't tell me why you wanted to give me a thumbs down outside of the fact that I suck and that other people are so much better than I am. I like making these videos because they entertain me. Thanks for watching.